I'm back with a quick video. So I have recently gotten into planting. So I wouldn't consider myself to have a green thumb at all. Like, my grandmother's the one in the family with the green thumb. I never considered myself that type of person. But about 7 months ago, a coworker who was leaving, we have spider plants in our office, and they were showing me how to propagate them. So they told me to, you trim it off the branch. I have the videos of showing kind of the steps. You put them in water for about 10 days until they root, and then you put them in soil. So I have a bunch of plants kind of like in these paper cups. Like, at this point I have like 30 total spider plants in my house. So I feel, I've been doing it for like 7 months, so I feel a little qualified just to talk about it for anyone who's looking to start planting. I've never hated plants, I just didn't know, what to do. And so I feel like spider plants are a great introduction to having a green thumb and growing different things. Because I have the spider plants, I have succulents, and I have 2 different types of snake plants. But spider plants so far have been my favorite because they propagate so easily, and you really have to do very little work for them to grow. And that fits with my lifestyle and with my beginner skill knowledge, basically. So I feel like a pro, although I have basic skill knowledge. So I'm going to cut in the video of me actually showing you the steps of what I did, and all my plants in different stages. Okay, I just showing you that I clipped this maybe like a week ago, and it's already has a root. I don't know why it's not zooming in. It has this root. And so I was able to find some plants, some potters for free on the side of the road. And then I have some like soil. And so I'm going to clean these out. And really, I'm going to put this in a little cup and then move my plants from this little one into some bigger ones. And I think I want to keep them together, 3 of them together, and put more soil, but to be continued. Okay, this video is a little chaotic. So basically I have 34 spider plants total. Okay, total. Okay. And from my latest batch, as of a week ago, only 1 has sprouted. So I think I'm just going to put the rest of them back in the water and wait for them to sprout. This cup, wait for them to sprout, put it back, because I have these plants down here that need, this is a dipping dish. I didn't have anywhere else to plant them. So I'm gonna move these to here, and then I'll show you the plants I have upstairs. So I found these on the side of the road for free. So I got 3 of these, but they're different sizes. And I think I maybe only want to put 1 or 2 in each. And then I do have this plant in this one, but it's growing really well, so I don't want to move her. And I just repotted her 2 weeks ago, so I don't want to, she's thriving, I don't want to move her. And then we have all these little ones that need assistance, so I'll go upstairs and show you the other ones. So here are my other plants. So basically, like 2 weeks ago, these are all the plants that had no roots. So let's see if they have a root now. This one's still, oh. It has a little root. Can you see that? A little root. So I also didn't want to, these came from the water to little paper cups. So I cut a paper cup in half, and then I did the soil with these. And so I don't want to move these either, because I want them to all have roots. And then hopefully put 2 or 3 of them in a pot. So let me show you the finished product for the ones I have downstairs. And so hopefully you see the steps. You put it in water, you wait for it to root, you put it in a small cup so that it can get some roots. For this stage, I would say at least a month in the summertime. If this was the winter time, as long as keep it in the cup until it grows more roots. Not just one roots, but like actually root. So I'll take you back downstairs. And I do feel like these are a priority because they're in dishes and not real pots. And the paper cups I think is good. So maybe I'll do, I have 6. Yeah, maybe I'll do 3 and 3. That seems so big. But maybe I'll just fill it up halfway. We'll see. These are growing very well. Oops. It's only been a few weeks. It's also growing very well. Let me see what I could do. Okay, so I moved one that had the most robust root system into this one by himself, and then I put 4 in this one. I know that this pot is too big from going from this shallow to this depth of a pot. I think is a problem, and I am kind of worried about them. But with 4 of them, I'm gonna give it 2 or 3 months just to root, sit it in the sun, and give it time to grow. And so I have one little buddy that doesn't have nowhere to go, so I think I might put him by himself or put them 2 together. That might make more sense until they grow and sprout more. So I have plants that are growing that are already kind of in this size pot, so I'm kind of like, why repot it to put it in the same pot when it's like if I wait 2 or 3 months, I can repot and graduate it to a bigger plot or split them up. And I don't mind 4 being in the pot because it's really about growth. And so we'll come back and check on this group of 4 to see how they're doing. And then I'm just gonna put this buddy in a glass jar by himself. I have others in the glass jar. I don't think that's the best potting system, but it's all about stages. You know, when they move to the next stage, I'll put them somewhere else. And then I also need a bigger collection of pots to really manage this better, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If this video is kind of a little choppy, I do want to say, just kind of like to summarize, you clip the plant from the vine, another spider plant, or you get a seed or a seedling. You can put it in water for 10 days and wait for the root to come, or you can put it directly into the soil. So these two plates right here are plants that never rooted in the water. And so I just, after a month of being in water with no root, I put them in soil. And so most of them are still alive. Like some of them look still like they're struggling a little bit, like the leaf doesn't look as vibrant as some other leaves, but it is spring. And so that's helping them grow, getting a lot of sunlight. The second step would just to put it in shallow soil. So I leave my spider plants in this stage for about 1 month, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Especially if they didn't have a root when I put them in soil. I kind of leave them in this shallow soil for a while. And then I take my strongest bunch from the cups, like the ones that are sprouting very nicely over, have a lot of leafage, look full. And I take them and I usually put them in a bigger pot, like maybe a 9-centimeter pot together. And then I leave them there again for another 3 months. I'm not quick to repot over and over and over. And this is my first time doing all these spider plants as we're moving into spring. But to me, I want, because once you put the spider plant in a big pot, the roots have to go deep. And so before I move it to a different plant, I just want to make sure my roots are full, that my roots are good, that the plant looks stable and healthy before I move it. And I have so many plants that it's like, excuse me, I have to buy more pots too. So I'm also not in a rush to upgrade all of my spider plants. So I want them to have strong roots before I plant them somewhere. And then also for me, I'm not sure how big I want my spider plants to be. So if I want them in a 24-centimeter pot or a really huge pot, it's going to take time for them to grow and develop to be able to be potted in a pot that size, if that makes sense. So please feel free to leave comments down below. This is a quick starter beginner guide for spider plants. I really hope that was helpful. I want to do more planting videos. I need to get a tripod so that when I'm showing things, I can actually do it with 2 hands and not just 1 hand. Another thing is spider plants don't like wet soil. They prefer dry soil. And so especially when my plants are in this stage, I do a few droplets of water a week. And I press my finger in the soil to check for moisture. If it's moist at all, I don't do it. If it's like brittle, it's like, okay, great. It's soaking up the water that I gave it from last week. And I don't let the spider plants just sit in water. No, I pour it out. I try and just really monitor the water intake. And then the best thing I do for my spider plants that are thriving is I leave them alone. I don't really do too much, which is why I love spider plants so much. And so I think the difficult stage, I think rooting is easy, honestly, because you put them in water. It could be in a room with a lot of sunlight. It could be in a room with not that much sunlight. It doesn't matter. And I will say most of the plants that I propagated have been from October to February. So the darkest times of the year, they still rooted and sprouted. So rooting is easy to me. I think the tough stage is when they're in these little cup stages of not overwatering and making sure they get enough sunlight and balance before you move them to a different pot, and just making sure that they're ready. Okay, so now I'm an official plant lady. I need to get the tattoo that I'm a plant mom now. I'm very excited about that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.